Holy
Inlet Shoals, a place where anyone with any maritime sense would steer clear from. The turbulent waters and the shifting sands of the shoals draw the red drum in. For red drum kayak anglers, it's a thrilling and skill-testing destination, one where it's a good day if you survive. It's an open water fishery with no shelter or safety from the winds, ocean breakers, or the strong currents. You need to be fluent in 3 kayak fishing disciplines: dealing with the ocean swells and breakers, anchoring in the big waves and the strong currents, and on top of all these things, fighting and landing a big fish in a kayak. The shoals are in the inlets between the barrier islands on the Virginia eastern shore. When the spring sun begins to heat up the mudflats behind the barrier islands and the water temperatures creep into the 60s, all of the crabs and other shellfish come out of their winter hibernation. The peak of the red drum run is during the peak of the peeler crab season. The crabs are molting and shedding around the full moon in May. Usually big reds are first caught at the Ocracoke Inlet on the outer banks of North Carolina, then at the Hatteras Inlet and the Point, moving up the coast towards the bay. On some years on the eastern shore, we've had them show up at Chesapeake Island and the Virginia Barrier Islands at the same time, which lends itself to the theory that these fish are migrating in from offshore. Smith Island Inlet Shoals is between Smith Island and Fisherman's Island on the very tip of the Virginia Eastern Shore Peninsula. We launched at the Wise Point boat ramp and paddled 3 miles out to the shoals. We fished the incoming current for safety reasons. If anything bad happens, you will drift into the inlet and not out to sea. At low tide, the backside of the shoals is usually out of the water. We stop, put our jackets on, and rig our anchors. On my bow anchor, I use 100 foot of rope. Even though we are anchoring in 6 to 8 foot of water, a short rope with the high angle to your kayak will pop out of the sand with the wave action. A long rope with the low angle has a harder time becoming dislodged. This will be put to the test at the shoals. When you see a wave breaking at you, get some momentum and paddle into it. We use quick release anchor cleats because we want to be able to get off the anchor quickly and easily. A buoy is attached to the anchor rope. I set up my stern anchor so it's ready to go. When I drop it, it's already set.
Come over here on the slough. come over here, son. I'll drop my stern anchor.
I drop my stern anchor when I land red, so I'm not getting pulled away by the current when I'm dealing with the fish. I use a Chesapeake custom rod.
It's a little bit heavier action rod, but still with enough tip to be able to toss 6 ounces into the shoals.
My main line is 50-pound braid to a swivel, an 80-pound leader, snelled to a 10-aught owner circle hook.
The snell knot is probably the most difficult out of the handful of knots that I use. Pass the end through the eye towards the hook. Loop it and leave out about 1 inch past the hook. Keep a good grip on the shank of the hook and the line, and coil the back side of the loop over the shank, making sure to clear the tag end and keeping it inside the coil. Pull the leader in snug, but not too tight, keeping a grip on the coils. Then pull the tag in snug. Slide the coil back to the eye, moisten and tighten. Snell knot.
And that's the fish finder. Snap your weight onto there.
I like to use these tongue weights.
So when the current gets going, this thing kind of buries itself in the sand. If you can get them, get peeler crabs.
But female hard-shell blue crabs will work just as well, and for about half the price. Crabs are perfectly happy in the tank well under a
I
towel.
like to cut this little point off. I hook them through, right through the middle, then out this back side, and then I rubber band these legs and the shell onto the shank of the hook.
This keeps the legs from flaring out in the current and keeps the crab secured on the hook.
That's a drum. That's a drum right there.
The initial run of a ray can fool you, but if it doesn't give you any head shakes
Maybe not.
and likes to stick to the bottom,
Ray.
it's a ray.
Sounds like someone who's upset with healthcare policy, if I had to say.
I'll fight him just to get my weight back. Dog sharks will tear up some peeler crabs. They're easier to deal with than the rays. Plus, they don't have teeth, so you can retrieve your rigs.
Feeling like a move. Feeling like a what? Moving. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Right on the corner where I was standing. Up, leave up. What?
Nah, I think it's a shark.
You think it's
It just came off.
came off?
When we get to the shoals during the slack current, we don't anchor up. But when you're not anchored up, you really gotta watch out where you're drifting.
There's flu on that side. It does, it completely closes out. Well, at least we got a safe exit. The currents can be done here soon. Look, these are gonna get so good when the tide comes in, man. I mean, really, that's half the size that's gonna come in when that tide comes up. I'm just freelining.
Those on the edge are getting real sketchy. Talk about waking you up, man. My legs are all tingly, my adrenaline's going. That's scary. I thought I was gonna lose that one. Have we gotten sucked into this stuff now? Yeah. Going that way. Yeah, I get nuts real quick. Yeah. I think we're still getting pulled out. Yeah. It's not a good feeling when you realize where I shouldn't be. We're looking at that, looks nuts. Look at the way those waves are crashing together. At one point over here, waves coming this way and coming this way.
Those cross waves, brutal, man. They'll throw you.
Yeah.
You have that a lot of energy right there in that peak.
I know it's crazy, man. I haven't gotten that vertical on a wave yet.
You have to be able to read the shoals to be able to navigate within them. If you started out as a surf angler, you know how to read the beach. It's the same idea. You can read the water depths by the action of the waves. Where the waves are breaking and it's rolling whitewater, that's the shallow top of the shoals. Where the waves are peaking and almost breaking, that's the edge of the shoal, the drop off. Where the waves are relatively flat is the deeper slough. That's where we anchor. Try to anchor close enough to the breakers to be able to cast the baits into the shoals.
Right here, I'm in about 5 foot of water. Right there is 3 foot of water. We got my baits right inside there, right inside the white water. Right in the breakers.
If I'm too far away to get a cast into the shoals, I'll drop my anchor rope, paddle in to make a cast.
Sure as hell feels like one. Oh yeah. He's way out by you, man.
At this point, I don't want to drop the anchor rope until the fish comes out of the breakers. Otherwise, he'll pull you in.
He is still in there.
I was up current from Damien. The fish took the current and ran way past Damien and kept on running. Eventually he turned and started swimming up current. Once a red comes off the shoal, he usually stays in the deeper water. And that's when it's safe to drop that anchor rope and fight that fish free of the anchor.
It's coming out! If he's in your anchor line, drop your anchor! He's in the anchor line. Wait, no, he's out. I think. Oh, he's still in. There he is. Got him out. Oh! No. Wrapped up. Close, man. I know that's too close. Alright, I'm free of that. Come over here in the slough. Come over here, Tom. I'll drop my stern anchor. He was buried in that shoal. And way past Damien. I mean, way past. And he finally came up, which was cool. I didn't know if he was going to go around here or come up. Came off, and then I knew he was going to go hit your anchor line, so I dropped just in time too, because he was stuck in there. No doubt. He's ready to go.
As the tide comes in and the water level rises, the front part of the shoals become less breaky. Move to the back part of the shoals where it's still shallow, the water's still breaking and really turbulent.
Pretty deep here. It's pretty deep right here. I guess it's just residual choppiness coming off the shoal. This deep. Right on the edge. Right on the edge.
You don't want to set the hook with circle hooks. You simply want to tighten up your drag and the hook will set itself.
Got something! Feels like a drum! Whoop! Whoop! Yep! I'm gonna drop anchor!
Once you come off anchor and winch yourself to the fish, the fight is real close. This 42-incher is relatively small for the size of red drum that we can get out here.
Shoal Reds.
Flounder are predators. They lay in wait around any structure waiting for bait fish to swim near. They are masters at camouflage, blending in with their bottom surroundings. Gulp on a jig head is our bait of choice for flounder. When fishing the shallow areas inside the inlets, I use a minimum of a half-ounce jig head. Around the bridges, in deeper water and stronger current areas, we use up to a 2-ounce jig head. You want the jig head to be connecting to the bottom. Flounder hunt in areas with some sort of structure and with some current running over it. And inside the inlets, any creek or channel with current will have flounder. Flounder hunt from the bottom. I cast out the jig and bounce it back to me, making sure it thumps the bottom. Any of the inlets and bridges are good flounder spots. Rudy, Lynn Haven, Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, and the HRBT are all great flounder spots. The HRBT has shoals that run parallel to the bridge. Flounder love this area. At the base of any pilings, the sand will have a washout area by the current. This creates a nice little hole for the flounder to sit in. As kayakers, we can get the jig right into the spot better than a boat. We can bang and grind the pilings and drop the jig right into the eddy. The HRBT can be really productive for flounder, especially in the spring. Tagging data shows that these flounder return year after year to the HRBT. Flounder are notorious for getting off of the hook right at the boat. The leg scoop was originated for the flounder. If they do pull the hook as you're landing them, you still got a chance to kick them in with your leg. A lot of times they will jump as soon as they touch your leg. Keep a hold of the leader and bring them on in. Flounder like to go crazy in the boat. Just try to keep a hold of the leader and don't get hooked. The last thing you want to do is get hooked and be connected to a thrashing flounder. Get a hold of them, the spot you want to grab is right behind the gill plate. Spots like the Lesner bridge can be really dangerous. I don't recommend it unless you can maneuver through the pilings and the strong current. During the current, the eddies of the pilings are a great flounder ambush spot. I drop the jig straight behind the piling. When fishing around structure, you're going to hang up and lose jigs. Times you can retrieve your jig by paddling up current from the snag.
Really slinging on out there. Oh my God, dude. This is a big flounder. Like, scared to land him big. I think, holy shit. Barely hooked. Oh my God, dude. I don't know how big this one is. Wow, that thing, I was like, oh, this big flounder.
The Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel is our fishing playground in the summer months. Sheepshead, spadefish, triggerfish, and black drum are the targets. The bridge and tunnel complex is an incredible structure, spanning 17 miles from shoreline to shoreline. It crosses the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. We fished the first 3 miles of it to the first island. The optimal current to paddle out is on the incoming current. It usually angles slightly from the southeast. And on the return paddle, the outgoing current comes from the northwest, giving a slight tail current to push it back.
This right here is probably the worst combination of wind and current that you can have going back to the beach out here at the bridge. It's an incoming current with east wind blowing together and running together. Makes it pretty hard. And the only way you can really beat it is just piling to piling, paddle eddy to eddy on the way back home. One thing tricky about coming out here and fishing the bridge is the current runs 3 hours later than the tide time. But when I launched this morning at 8 o'clock, it was high tide. Water level was up to there. The current's still coming in, but the water level is actually dropping. Here's my spadefish rig. Just using a low-profile Shimano reel. This is a Chesapeake rod. A little longer of a butt than my usual rods, so I can tuck it up underneath my arm. Most of the times my butt pieces on my rods are shorter, so I can get it around. But for this type of fishing, especially when I'm one-arm paddling, I want to be able to hold this and be able to set the hook and control it with one arm. And 50-pound Power Pro with a 2-ounce egg sinker on the main line, tied to a swivel, with roughly 1.5 to 2 feet of 30 to 35-pound fluorocarbon to a real small jig head in red. Clam is probably the go-to bait out here. One, you can hit it with the weight, or hit them together. My main cutting tool are scissors. These are chicken shears that all the tackle shops here locally have. I cut the clam from the soft side to the foot side, because I want a piece of that foot on each of this strip of clam. It gives me a nice little clam strip. Now the way I want to thread this little piece of clam on, I want to put it on the foot piece first. And then just kind of thread it on. Now this is why using a jig head is better than a simple straight hook, is I can slide that foot over the barbs.
And it holds the bait on better than a regular hook.
They usually are higher in the water column. If I'm not seeing them, I'll put my weight just below where I can see.
That can be 2 feet or 6 feet, depending on the water clarity.
And they fight hard. I keep my drag fairly tight, but when I first hook them, I thumb it. And then try to get them away from the pilings. And once I have them away from the pilings, I'll loosen up. Damn it. Faster. Ah. Good job, Put the scalp. Oh yeah, there he is. Ah! Loosen the drag. It is. I had it thumbed. Oh no, it's wrapped around the. No. Yeah, no, I had it thumbed.
Something that will do that too.
Who flies out of the water like that after that long?
Loosen up on the drag because the bigger ones will wear a hole in their mouth and you'll lose a bigger one at the boat if you have the drag too tight during the full fight. Oh, there we go. Oh! Oh! Woo! Oh! Oh! Oh my God! Burning! Oh! Oh! Right back down! Right back down! Oh! Oh! Ah! Ah! Holy! No, I haven't even seen it. It's a big face.
That is a really nice one.
Ah, no!
Just like that.
Now, one-arm paddling technique is real good around these pilings. The key is to always have a spot to push off of. Fulcrum point. Right here, I'm trying to back up. Fulcrum point's under my arm. I'm pushing down while I'm pushing out with my hand. And this one, I'm pulling with my hand, pushing with my elbow. This right here, I'm back on my right-hand side. I'm pulling with my hand and pushing with my elbow. And this one, forward on the right, I'm pushing with my PFD, my chest, and pulling with my hand.
One-arm paddling is rough on my wrist, so I have to tape them up with athletic tape.
You dragging or
The spades vibrate when they fight. You know you have one on when your rod tip is shaking like crazy.
Stupid things go. They were just here. Break one off and retie in there. Gone. Whoa. Not even big one.
Yeah, it's just the fact that yours is just on going. They're gone.
It's gonna be a decent one.
Whoa, whoa! Trigger.
Oh my God. Kill that thing.
Oh, it's
That's a nice one, dude.
Oh, that is a nice one. Oh, no, that's my
Triggers are great on the table. Plus you want to get them out of the spot you're fishing because they are super aggressive and will demolish your bait supply. When triggers start stealing my baits, I change up and put down a scrap piece of gulp.
It's pretty good though, didn't waste any bait, just used a little piece of a gulp.
Benny. Bluefish. Hooked up. Huh?
Sheepshead.
Bluefish. Hooked up. Get out of here.
Oh! Baby. Sheepshead. Sheepshead. Little one.
I told you I had a good feeling bite over there a minute ago. That was probably that.
Spadefish Surprise.
Oh yeah. Nice fish.
Big black drum hang around the islands during the early summer. If you can stand up, you might be able to see them. They stand on their heads and root around in the rocks. On the calm side, it's easier to stand and to see them. They are really sketchy this time of year and spook easily. I was throwing a 1-ounce bucktail with a strip of clam. I can see him turning on the jig when the line came tight. But he didn't bite it. His peg fin hit the line. When they are foul hooked like this, we can't really fight to their full potential. Not like they are when they're hooked in the mouth and can really lean into you. I got him hooked in the peg fin, so I just gotta hold on. Whenever you see me duck my head at splashes, I'm using the bill of my hat to block the water from my Maui Jim sunglasses.
Now the reason why I'm leaving them in the water is it's really hot out here, and bringing these fish in and out of 70-degree water, 75-degree water, to bring them out here to 90-degree air temperature, it's pretty bad on them.
I get my camera ready and bring them up real quick for the shot. Then I get them back in the water and revive them upright. They are the slimiest big fish in the bay. Another good reason why to keep them in the water. sheepshead are one of my favorite fish in the bay. They are the kings of the structure in the summertime.
First, this is my sheepshead rod, and it's my tog rod. It's a Chesapeake custom. This has a carbon fiber butt piece, which is like a resonating chamber. It makes it super sensitive. It really amplifies here in the back of the rod. Using braided line, I've got 65 on here and 50 fluorocarbon on my leader. My reel is a Daiwa Luna.
The rig I like to use is basically a tog style bottom rig, but the hook loop is about 1.5 feet above the weight. The weight goes on the bottom. I make a simple loop and pass it through one time. This makes it easier to break off if the weight gets hung up. For the hook, I use the same loop, but I pass it through twice. I slide the hook onto the loop, making sure it's facing up.
When the current's running, I'll use 6 to 8 ounces. One of the best baits for sheepshead is mole crab.
Mole crabs are mistakenly called sand fleas. They are two different animals. Sand fleas look like fleas, except they're bigger, they hop around, and they bite you. Mole crabs are the critters that dig in the soft sand in the surf zone. Sand fleas, mole crabs.
Hook through the back and out through the bottom. Another great bait that you can buy in the store, the local tackle shops will have fiddler crabs. This you hook between one of the legs and out through the back. Now the hook sizes vary from what size the bait is. If it's a larger bait, I'll use a 4/0 owner cutting point hook. If it's a smaller bait, I'll use a 2/0. I'll start at the bottom. If I don't get any bites in a couple of minutes, I'll crank it up a few turns.
The sheepshead bite is weird. Most of the time, he's just gonna be there.
Oh yeah.
The line will just get heavy. The key is being ready to set the hook.
Whoa.
Don't hesitate and drive the hook in.
They can be 4 foot under the surface or all the way at the bottom. Just a matter of finding where they are.
I'm fishing for spadefish here. The bait is about 4 feet down.
Oh yeah. Damn. Yeah, that was sheepshead. That's a bigger one this time. Damn.
Big sheepshead?
Yeah, big one. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh, come on. Don't go over there.
You turn around.
You sure that's a sheep?
Yeah. Yeah, positive. Oh! Positive that's sheepshead.
How big is that?
That's a big one. Little teeny jig head.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, right, perfect spot. He couldn't get in any better spot than in between, behind those molars. Oh.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Kick off?
Yeah. Yeah, a little sideways, a little off balance, but okay. Nice.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Whoa, whoa! Big sheep! Big! Holy. Holy. This thing is just barely hooked. Yeah! What is he?
Almost 25.
Almost 25.
Yeah.
Oh, he's swimming.
Alright. Oh yeah. Nice.
Oh yeah. Swim on down, girl.
A few years ago, we had a couple days of incredible water visibility. We saw a big sheepshead swimming with the schools of spadefish. That's a spadefish shape there. Sheepshead will give you big wobbles and hard runs. That's not a spadefish. Sheepshead will also run up during the fight.
Yeah. Whew. Way out here. Way out here. Yeah. No. Just, you broke right as I pulled him in. And man, he's loose. And I'm holding him down.
Yeah, look there.
He was ready.
Later on in the summer, it seems like the sheepshead moved to the rocks around the islands. The tube is the tunnel that goes underneath the main shipping channels of the bay. We have to anchor in the rocks here. It's the only way to stay put in the current. Say the current's going out. We lock the anchor on the upside of the tube and fish on the downside of the current.
Alright, when you drop this wreck anchor, drop it down and just let a little bit of line out once it touches the bottom and try and hook to the bottom as quick as you can. That way you don't worry about falling into super holes that it's gonna be really hard to get your anchor out from. Okay.
Oh, there he is. That's him. Joy. Whoa! Yeah. Whoa. Oh, this is awesome out here with no structure. Yeah, nice. He's not that big. That's 22. Feisty out here though. This is nice. I do like hooking out here. No, you don't. 21 maybe. That was awesome though.
Nice. On the bottom?
Yeah. Actually what I did that time, I dropped off a rock, so I brought it halfway up the rock and suspended it on the side of the rock.
Got one. Got him. Came off. He's a gone.
Set the hook.
I had him, dude.
I saw him running, you still didn't set the hook. Just because he's pulling line, he doesn't mean anything.
I wasn't sure if I was getting bit or not. I thought the weight just hit the rock. That was him.
There he is. Your boy. Yep. Citation too. Big one.
That's a full plate.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh. Oh, man. Oh. 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 Man, this is a hefty one.
Oh yeah, it's probably a
Nice.
Not even a big one, is it?
I bet he's 24.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel strongly about conservation of our big sheepshead.
It's not over, buddy. You get to swim free.
I release all big sheepshead. When they get the citation size, they can be 15 to 35 years old.
Ready?
They grow fast the first 5 years up to 18 inches. They slow down for the next 5 years, reaching maturity at 20 to 22 inches and at 10 years old. But when they get big citation size, these are old breeding fish. These things fight way too hard to only fight once. Sightcasting is standing, staring at the water all day long. In the spring, the stripers show up in the shallows. It's after their spawn and they are lean and hungry.
That big?
Usually these fish are in the low 40-inch class, but there are some big ones in the mix.
That was getting tight.
When visibility is low, you can find them by paddling over top of them and jumping them. But for a few days in the spring, they will school up tight and they are very visible.
Big one. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a red right next to him. Nice. A little bit bigger.
Red drum are in the same area at the same time. It's early spring and they come into the shallows aggressive, lean, and hungry from the winter. Sometimes they're in schools, sometimes by themselves. When they are in schools, you might be able to see them from a distance when one of them rolls up on its side and gives a flash. Red drum travel into the bay all the way up to Maryland. On the bay tour, I saw them as far north as the Hunger River.
Now for the last couple of years, my sight casting rod has been this Cape Fear rod. Super fast action, rated up to 1.5 ounces, but I can throw these lures, which could be up to 2 ounces. Needed something that's going to be heavy enough to handle a 48-inch, 50-inch fish, and still be fun with a 30-inch fish. It's a jig head and gulp combo, but make sure it's a really strong jig head, or the Spro jig and gulp combo.
I don't swim the bait, but I drag it in the sand. The sand trail really seems to trigger the bite. In the spring, a swim shad works great. Berkeley Power Bait 5-inch mullets are the perfect size, and they have a super strong hook. My main knot is a Palomar knot. I fold the line over,
Pull that double line through the eye.
make a big loop, and pull the end over and through the loop.
And then pass the whole lure through the loop. I'm use my pinky to pull it and tighten it down.
Palomar knot.
On all my reels I use braided line. Unless I'm using a swivel, I tie the leader directly to the braided line. I use a surgeon's knot to connect my leader to my main line. Put them together. I make one loop. Then I pull the main line and the leader through that loop 4 times. And 4. Now I cinch it up, make sure that's all tight. There's not a lot of loops or a loose line in between it. Pull the loop tight so it doesn't get loose. Gets about there, I wet it and I pull it tight. I tighten it down, I pull on the leader, pull on the main line. I snip the leader real tight so it'll pull through the guides on the rod.
Anytime you're on the Eastern Shore, keep your eyes open.
Just saw. Woohoo! Shoot. Oh, they're right here. I just saw 2. On the troll. On the troll. I told you they were right here, man. I can see them everywhere. Doing work. Troll citation. Coming under you, Rick. Hook up. On the troll. On the bass rod. Big penned in this rod here. Big penned here, folks. Oh yeah, that's a sighting. Finally. Turn around and face me. Oh, barely.
Nice. Nice on 46.
Don't look at me.
All right.
One more tip. Flash.
Ready?
Yep.
40 minutes after we drift the bank. Yeah, pretty much.
There's your picture.
We always secure our paddles. You hardly ever see one of us with our paddles dangling on our legs. But sometimes we forget.
Yeah, they're still out there. There's a giant school out there. We're just kind of hitting the fringes. You might want to come up a little bit more. Wow. Paddle up so you can get into the school because he's going to pull me into him. See the whole school moving, they're waking? They're pushing away from me. Much bigger. My paddle's way over there. Wow. Get some shot.
When I'm stalking a school, I like to roll up on them from the side. Retrieving the lure across their path always results in a fast hookup.
Wait, cast right there, cast right there. There, right on top, right over there, right in front, right shallow, right in front. Good head shaker here. Oh, it's a big one here. Way bigger.
Red drum half teeth, so you don't want to lip them. Slide your fingers under the gill plate up to the chin. There's a little gap where you can stick your fingers in. That's the red drum handle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Once the sharks start to get into the area, the reds don't frequent that area as often. As it gets warmer, the giant rays are also around.
Giant ray.
In the summer, reds in the 30-inch class come around the area. When they are in small schools, they are competitive and bite quick. Almost always, when you hook one out of the school, his first run is back to the school. This 33-incher is over to kill slot size, so he gets a big boy tag.
Tag?
In Virginia, the slot size is 18 to 26 inches. So this one is free to grow into a big red. This Berkeley shrimp worked well. Reds like to run right along the shoreline, usually right underneath the breakers. But to sight them, you have to be in the surf with them.
Here they are, coming right at you, right at you.
When you see a red by itself, you have to be real quiet, especially if you're about ready to run into him. If you stay really still, they won't notice you. But even if you spook them, they don't run too far away, and you still can get another shot at them. When the fins are out and they seem to have their balance, that's when I let them go.
Oh, God.
As soon as I hooked this fish, I knew it was the biggest red I have ever had on my line.
There, got him. Holy, that's a big one. Wow. That's a beast. Wow. That's my 50.
This 49-incher was easily estimated over 50 pounds, and easily the largest red that has ever hit my deck.
Oh, wow. Really heavy.
With this awesome fishery, we get plenty of chances of fish like this when we are kayak fishing Chesapeake Bay.
Son, shark attack.